Good morning, or good afternoon, I guess now. Sorry I'm a little bit late getting onto the stream. Well, my valves, I guess I can talk about mouthpiece buzzing because I don't think I've ever really done that. That's the most amount of mouthpiece buzzing I do on any given day. I don't do much mouthpiece buzzing as a practice aid, and I don't do like a full-on routine like what I understand Jim Thompson's buzzing basics to be. I just sort of do it so that the first notes I play on the trumpet aren't the first time that my lips have touched the mouthpiece. And usually I just feel a little bit better after I've sort of even done that minimal amount of stretching. So that is my approach to mouthpiece buzzing. I've been doing it. I did it in grad school, and then I didn't do it for a very, very, very long time. And I started to have some issues with my playing. And I went and played for Barbara Butler, and she started talking about mouthpiece buzzing again. And so I decided to incorporate it regularly just to see what would happen. And it helped for sure. And then so I've just sort of been casually doing it ever since. I wonder if I can do a I wonder if I can add some EQ. No. Okay. So yesterday I talked a little bit about my warm-up. I kind of want to repeat it again just for anybody who may not have been here yesterday. The way I think about warming up is more or less stretching. I'm just trying to move through some ranges of motion, trying to get to some higher notes, trying to get to some lower notes. I'm not trying to play anything really loud or really soft. I'm just trying to get my chops going. And then I'll shift into long tones and first attacks and the stuff that kind of makes up most fundamental routines, except I don't think about it as I'm still warming up when I do my long tones, or I'm still warming up. I'm now thinking I'm practicing because I have a specific goal for what I'm trying to get out of it. So warming up for me is almost like the goal is just to get my chops understanding what's going on. And then as soon as I can, I try to move into, well, if I can do long tones but also have a goal, then I'm not wasting my time anymore. I'm getting something out of, low impact work like long tones. I hope so, James. I'm trying to my best to be available and talk about my approach and my process and stuff like that. If you have any specific questions, let me know. So that's why I start with Chickowitz flow studies. I'm just trying to, like I said, stretch, maybe do some articulation, and then as soon as I can, I'm going to move through it, and I'm going to start doing my long tones. So with these Chickowitz flow studies, some days I add articulations on the top of the notes, or on the top note. Sometimes I don't. The reason I do add them is because if I get up there and I have what I feel like is a pretty good or centered sound, I also want to then figure out, well, what would it feel like to tongue and keep the air forward, so that I can sort of teach myself where those notes are if I were to just, pick them out of nowhere. So I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to take advantage of, well, I'm already up there, so I might as well even take this exercise and adjust it slightly so that I can expose my chops to some sort of stimulus that's going to help me later on down the road when I'm doing things where, like I said, I have to pick high C's out of midair. I want to have some sort of idea of what that feels like. Hey, Tony. I will do this. I will mouthpiece buzz, and I'll do the Chickowitz flow studies first every single time I play the trumpet. And then I'll go from there. Then I might play some stuff from my routine, or I might just do some articulation or some flexibility stuff that I have memorized to loosen up. But I always do these two things first, and that's because I'm mostly using it as a gauge to see how things feel. I don't really care about how things feel, but I'm trying to get a sense right out of the gate. How are my chops responding? Am I able to play with even and free flow, stuff like that? And I like to use the same thing each day because it becomes really easy to compare and contrast from day to day. part of me is trying to do sort of like a Pavlovian thing, right? Did I practice all this? A Pavlovian thing, right? Where what I want is I just want to, like, when I play this thing at the beginning of the day, it's like, okay, it's like time to play the trumpet well again. It's time to play the trumpet well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's actually a thing or not, but maybe it is. All right, so we're down here. So day 4, and I'm gonna set my metronome for 82. And then I'm gonna show you all what I've got for a drone. And then you should be able to hear the drone, and if the drone is too loud, let me know. So we would start this. And then where is it? Tuning drones. Okay. So I'm gonna start on like G, right? So it would be, but that's probably very loud. So I'm gonna pull the volume way down. Hopefully that's not too loud. If that is too loud, let me know. But basically I'm gonna play the note and then change it, and then play the note and then change it. As you can see, I've got it on a major 10th. I've got it on a major 10th here, and I've got this trumpet pitch, so it's kind of as close to a trumpet. With a major 10th, it just feels like it feels pretty good to sit in the pitch. You'll see what I'm talking about. Take a pause there. So with this with the drone. So the reason I'm doing long tones is it's all pitch related. I'm trying to get more and more used to playing my instrument at 440. So you can see the calibration, the bottom right button says 440. And so on the other days, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or day 1, 3, and 5, I play this with a tuner, and it's about me trying to hear the pitch correctly. And then with this, it's a different way of thinking about pitch, right? It's more about matching. It's more about sort of when the sound settles in, what does it feel like? There's sort of a feel going on with this. And so I focus on here. I'm just trying to focus on like settling in, if that makes sense. Like on my side where I'm sitting and I have this in my ear, I can totally feel like when I'm right in tune, there's an openness to the sound. And like I said, my sound just feels like it's just sitting and matching. I'm not sure if that's coming up. Let me know what it sounds like on the other side, if you don't mind. If you can hear that my sound is sort of sitting in the other sound, or if it's too quiet, or let me know, because this is kind of a cool way to do pitch, in my opinion, to work on it. My wife has really encouraged me to do this, and so it's definitely a different experience than just working with a tuner. All right, I'll turn it up. Okay, let me know how that works. Gets kind of difficult up once you're all the way up there. But it's cool. We are done with the drone. So long tones, there's tons of value. I guess I can take these off now. You know, there's a ton of value with long tones. You know, I'm working on first attacks when I do long tones. I'm working on sustain with good, full, beautiful sound. I'm imprinting that this is the way I want to play the trumpet. I'm also building up, especially as I go up in the upper register, I'm building up some strength to hold these notes. And again, I mentioned this yesterday, but it's worth saying again, that when I practice with the app like this, the next time I do it, it's not going to be at 82. It'll be at a different tempo. And so when the tempos are slower, I'm forced to hold the notes longer, but I have more rest because I'm playing for 8 counts and I'm resting for 8 counts. So I'm holding for longer, but I'm resting for longer. And when the tempos are faster, I'm not playing for as long, but I don't get as much rest. So you're sort of training these opposite ways of doing it, where I'm holding it and resting a lot. And then the other way is I'm not holding it as long, but I'm reducing rest, so I got to get back in there sooner. So I think it's a really valuable way to do long tones, to change the tempo like that. Moving on to arpeggios. So with these exercises, I'm practicing a few different things. So with long tones, it's first attacks, but then you have a little bit of time, 8 counts to be precise, at least the way that I've been doing it. You have 8 counts to get in the center of the pitch. So if it's not in the center of the pitch, if it's kind of, you kind of get into the center of the pitch, that's wonderful. That's what we need to be able to do. You're not gonna start right in the center of the pitch every time. We have to kind of learn our tendencies. This is why playing with a tuner can be good. Is not just I'm trying to look at the tuner and figure out how to get it in the spot, but instead I'm gonna play my note. I'm not gonna look at the tuner. I'm gonna play until I think I have it in tune. Then I'm gonna look at the tuner. What that's gonna teach me is what I hear, and so then you can say, okay, I'm hearing this note sharp. I should try to fix that. And so how do you fix that? You listen to the sound when it's in tune, and you begin to memorize that sound, and you're trying to create that sound. All right? So that long tones, you have a chance to sort of get the pitch in the right spot over the course of time. With these first attack drills, now we've shortened it. So I have to have the same follow-through that I had with the long tones, but I don't have nearly as much time to center. So it just becomes really obvious when I'm not centering. And also, this is just a way to get the horn off my face, reset, and just practice doing this setup over and over and over again so it becomes habit, that this is how I release sound on the trumpet. I'm also trying to bring my knowledge of the long tones, of when I'm learning about intonation, into this exercise. So I'm trying to remember, okay, the low F sharp, the slide needs to go out a little bit, and I need to sit down into it because it sometimes sits a little bit sharp. Other notes, okay, I need to really, not push up into it, but it sometimes can be a flat note, or, so I'm trying to learn the pitch tendencies, and I'm trying to nail them right away. So each time I do these arpeggios, it's basically checking in with myself. How well do I know this instrument? So with exercises like this, you can do what I call skill layering. I got that name from my wife. Other teachers call it other things. We're certainly not the first people to think about it. But when you get comfortable, the goal of the exercise, as I stated, is to have great first attacks and complete follow through for this one quarter note. So that's what we're testing. You may get to a point where you're like, this is easy. I can do this. I know what I'm doing. I'm not really missing any notes. And everything feels great. I know where to aim. I've, quote, mastered this exercise. Maybe you'll get to that point. If you haven't gotten to that point, just keep playing it the same way until you get to that point. But once you get to that point, you can add in things like, well, I'm going to play softer, or I'm going to play louder, or, whatever amount of, those are the two most obvious variations in this context. But there's other exercises where you could change the articulation. If it's, various articulation exercises, with flexibility, you can play them faster, play them slower, all that kind of stuff. So it's sort of like master the basic skill of what you're trying to accomplish with the exercise, and then begin to add layers of difficulty to continue to hone more skills. Here, I'll do a loud one. That was sharp. so that one note was kind of sharp. That's why I did it a second time. So as you can hear, the louder dynamic ones were pretty consistent. So the way I'm thinking is not, okay, this is my soft approach, this is my mezzo forte approach, and this is my loud approach. I don't have different ways of thinking about it. Rather, I think I'm going to establish this skill of releasing air consistently in a basic way, in a sort of a mezzo forte, mezzo piano-ish way. Once I establish that, I'm asking, how can I keep doing that but make a sound that's forte or make a sound that's piano? I'm not thinking I got to do something different. I'm thinking I want to do basically the same exact thing and then just make a different sound. All right, we have one more and then we'll move on. But I want to say here, you may listen to me play this and I'm not really missing any notes and things are feeling pretty good. And you might think, well, what are you doing? This isn't like challenging you. And that's true. This is not it is challenging from a focus standpoint, which is always worth challenging. But I just believe it's totally okay to have some stuff in your routine, especially towards the beginning of the routine where you can continue to build confidence that you can make sounds that you want to make. I think the idea of I need to challenge myself with every single thing that I play, I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I think sometimes in the gym, you're doing some exercises and your purpose is to push yourself for that particular day, and then on other days the purpose is not necessarily to push yourself 100%, but rather to accumulate a bunch of really good reps. You do want to challenge yourself. You don't want it to be just so ridiculously easy that you're not getting anything out of it. But when you're doing things like squats or something, some days you're going to be pushing it hard, and some days it's just going to be 5 sets of 5 where the 5th rep it feels difficult, but you can do it. And you're learning how to hone your focus, how to continue to have good and sort of consistent repetition one after another, so that when you get to the things that are challenging, you have a motor pattern that you've already sort of established that you can focus on and fall back on. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm actually just continuing to groove this neural pattern of how I release sound, because I think everything on the trumpet is you're either going to be successful or not successful, I'd say 99% of the time based on the way that you start. If you can release sound with freedom, all you have to do is just keep that sound. But if you don't really release with freedom, or it's miss the note or something like that, sometimes it's hard to get back on. Okay, that felt pretty good. So, as always, if there's anybody who's watching right now and you've never been to a stream, welcome. I'm here to just share some of my process. Hopefully you've, enjoyed hearing me play, but also sort of vocalizing some of the things that I am trying to do and some of the practice philosophy that I think. But also, if you have any specific questions about what I'm doing or any questions about stuff you're struggling with, please let me know so that I can try my best to help. So week 1, day 2, 6-3. That was yesterday. So then we have 2 violins, 2 Clark, 2. And there we go. So violin, page 21, number 19 at 52. Violin, page 21, number 19 at 52? And this one's violin, page 32, number 32 at 102. Let's see if I got that right. Page 21. Boom. Okay. So we are page 21. This right here, for anyone who's not aware, this is the Gold Method app. This is what I use to organize my practice sessions. So I picked all of these exercises, so it's completely customized to what I want to work on this month, the things that I think are going to make me better. But then there's it's like a huge spreadsheet, if you want to think about it that way, that's assessing the tempos that you choose for your exercises and the repetitions, and it spits out and gives you this program where I'm just doing exactly what it's telling me to do, and then I will continue to keep the goal in mind. So the goal of this exercise is to try to keep everything as forward as possible and sort of trying to play everything the same. So I'm not trying to think ba-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee, but rather like you can hear the airstream is intense from the first note to the last, and so it's just learning where to aim. Okay, so we hit record. So on an exercise like this, I'm not super worried about intonation because we're playing with so many alternate fingerings that it doesn't seem necessary to be super nitpicky about pitch. But beyond that, when I'm listening back to this, I'm listening to, does everything sound connected? So I know I missed a note in there later on, but I would say yes, the answer is these are connected the way that I would like them to be. Is it perfect? No. So this is kind of where my practice philosophy comes in. No, it's not perfect, but is this something that I think if I just keep coming back to it with regularity over the course of the month that it will get better? Absolutely. I'm not convinced that I need to hammer out and prove to myself that, well, there's two reasons. There's two things about this. One, I don't feel like I need to hammer these things out to prove to myself I can do it. Like I did it. I was able to play with consistency on like 6 of the 7 variations of it. So the one that I missed is not, if I missed it all the time, if I was missing every single interval, that would be different. So this one time of it not working is not evidence to me that I can't do it. And the other part of this too is I want to be able to do it the first time. And so this is also why I limit my repetitions unless I really actually truly feel like I need another few repetitions. What I'm trying to do is make notes of what I do and don't want. And it's basically like the next time I'm going to try to apply that, because in performance, this is what we need to be able to do. We're taking the amalgamation of all of the information we've gathered about how to successfully perform, and we're applying it all at once. And so being able to play something 5 times and nail it the 5th time is absolutely useless to you in an audition situation or a performance situation. So this, I'm basically trying to raise the level of my first takes across the board with the way I practice everything, right? And so what it requires is I have to understand what I'm trying to put into it before I play the repetition, so that I don't need the repetition to figure it out. So I have a plan, I try that plan out, I record myself and go back and listen and say, did my plan work? Now, generally, I think my plan did work. So I'm just going to keep doing my plan and hope that over the course of the month, it gets better. Sometimes you're going to record yourself, like I happened to me yesterday, and you're going to hear it and you're going to say, well, I had this plan, but it doesn't sound like the plan is happening. So I need to adjust what's in my head. I need to adjust what I'm trying to put into these repetitions. And so you think, okay, well, it needs to be a little bit shorter on these notes here. So then the next time through, you're trying to do something different. You're trying to play them shorter than you did last time, and you record yourself again. And then if they are shorter, then you're like, cool, that's how I do that. And then you learned. 32, page 32, right at 102. Thanks, Slide Grease. Appreciate you stopping by and checking it out. I would just want to reiterate what I'm thinking about here. All of my focus is right here of making sure that I can feel the air passing. So I'm actually not focused on the sound right now. I'm focused on what it feels like, because I want, when I play everything, for this to be automatic. I want my air just to move through. And so this exercise is a drill I use. And I find that if I focus on keeping the air consistent and just learn where to aim, everything things happen the way that I want them to. Do I play the trumpet thinking about this all the time? No, not necessarily. I do think about it to help get me back on track, but in a performance situation, I prefer to try to now think about what do I want this to sound like and how can I just commit to that sound. But having this kind of background makes that way more consistent. Having the first attack's background work that I was doing earlier makes it so I can just hear that pitch and I know where it is and I can have confidence in where I place it. Okay. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's a slow tempo, so the proof will be in the pudding, so to speak, when I test it out on faster repetitions. But the way I try to think about whether or not I'm satisfied with that is if I could play that way at my goal tempo, would I be satisfied? And if the answer is like, whoa, yeah, if I could go and play it exactly like that, I'd for sure be happy. So then it's like I found the solution. Now I just need to do the process of slowly speeding it up and, staying engaged and continuing to learn where I might not know something. And yeah. So 85 and 96. 85 and 96. 85 and 96. Okay. Clark 4. This is again a bit of a longer part of the practice session, just because there's so many of these exercises. Okay. Yeah, I can. So let me ask anybody in chat. Would you prefer that I release, a few of these every now and then, or should I just should I leave every single practice session? Because I'm planning on streaming every day in June. Should I leave every practice session available to watch afterwards, or just pick a few of them to make it easier to digest? All right, we're on evens. Yeah, I'm happy to leave them up. I had been putting chapters in there, so I've been putting chapters in there so people would know what's going on. It just takes a little bit of time to do that, but if it would be appreciated, I'm happy to do it. I just, if no one's really going to care one way or another, I'm happy just to only put a few of them up. Another option is I can put them all up and then just do chapters for the things that I'm talking about when I say something like, this is some of my philosophy, or this is what I'm trying to do. So what I've been doing is, or what I did yesterday was I put every exercise I did and then also all of the sort of teaching philosophy type things. So it could be only exercises, only teaching philosophy, or both. I gotta go turn on a fan. It's so ridiculously hot in here. All right, sorry about the fan noise, but it's just too hot. You bet. Thanks for stopping by. to take just a second break here. What I've noticed with this gold method routine is, days 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, depending on the difficulty of the exercises and your level of understanding of healthy production habits. Those days, there's a little bit of like I'm ironing out, I'm figuring things out, and then by the time you hit about the middle of week 2, it's like a light switch happens, and I hope that happens for me, in this way that I've experienced it before, because it's a pretty cool feeling. To go from I gotta think really hard and I'm struggling to, okay, this is no problem. Now I just get to enjoy playing and sounding really good on the trumpet. Yeah. All right. That is, again, I may not go back and listen to this right now. I may not ever listen to it at all. But having it there so I can go back, and if I, for some reason, need to be able to do it, is good. So just recording these things is generally a good habit to be in. Whether or not you go back and listen to it or not. This will be an ultimate test. I really struggled with B major last time I did it. Okay. So like I said, B major gave me a lot of trouble last time, and somebody asked me like, well, when will you practice that? Because I did it one time at a fast tempo and really struggled. And so basically that was like telling me, okay, B major needs some extra special attention, but now it's slower, and next time I play it, it'll be even slower. So I'll have these opportunities to really nail in the finger pattern that I'm looking for. And then when I come back to it on next week, and I'm at the faster tempo again, we'll see if some of this work that I was thinking now, what I'm trying to implement, or just, the neural patterns rather, if those have taken effect, it should go better on the faster tempo. Again, I'm really trying to organize my work so that I'm getting better and better and better the first time through something, because that's what matters in performance. That's what matters in auditions. Having the understanding of what you need to do to play your best the first time through is probably the first thing most of us should really seek. It's mostly about attention or focus. What am I thinking about, and what does that result in? It's a little bit better than last time. Do I ever practice going fast to slow instead of slow to fast? Not really, no. I've heard this approach. Oh, thanks, Tony. Yeah, we'll have to talk later about some of your thoughts about just in general. See if there's anything I can do to improve. There is this approach I've heard from people going fast to slow instead of slow to fast. I would say maybe when learning some sort of repertoire, it could be valuable to think about it that way. But from a fundamental perspective, basically, like, all I care about is form here. And so I'm not trying to learn this exercise. I'm trying to imprint a skill. And I don't really ever think going fast is, I mean, it's helpful to kind of get a sense of where you're at. But again, when you're mostly trying to learn something, you're trying to say, well, how is this going? But I'm not trying to learn this exercise. I'm trying to use this as an opportunity for my fingers to coordinate. And doesn't really matter what tempo that it's at. So I don't think I've ever gone fast to slow. No. That was better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, that note doesn't want to do it. Do Schlossberg someday, maybe in the next routine. I mean, I'm going to be doing these exercises for a while, but maybe in the next routine. Joey, how's your program going? Are you running lists? How's the running lists going? Hey, it's going pretty good. I'm actually practicing and streaming right now. Do you have time? Can I call you later, or will you be free? All right, well, I asked about before dinner, and they were cool with that. So, I got a little bit of time here. So, well, I'm sorry I can't talk right now. All right, I love you. Bye. That's my wife. Okay, so 2 times at 86. And then Sox 73 at 57. So let's see, 86. Not that. All right, Sox at 55. Oh, right. All right, I'm going to make this slightly bigger so I can see it too. All right. Last time I kind of struggled with this, but it was the fast tempo, so I have 2 repetitions here, so I'm going to record this first one, listen back, make sure I know what it is, and then I'm actually going to try to fix some stuff. pretty good. That low E is giving me some trouble. So right there, sometimes people ask me about things like ritardandos or more rubato type stuff with a metronome. Right there, I just stopped playing with the metronome for a second and then just got back on. That's usually how I handle it. All right, cool. So I think I'm doing what I want to be doing. I just need to make sure I'm focused. I'm going to grab this section and grab this section here, and then I think there was some intonation stuff here. So we want and then we play it again. And that was better. All right, so sax. This is a 3-timer. Nope. That's not what we wanted to do. That's what we wanted to do. For anyone who's just joining us in the chat, just practicing, having a good time. Let me know if you have any questions. It's part of the reason I'm here is my desire to not just share what I'm doing, but try to help you with what you're doing. All right. Kind of don't even have to listen to that, but I'm going to listen to it. Most of it's just like focus stuff and learning how to navigate. There's a few of these sections that's just learning how to navigate it. Okay, so in general, the exercise is going the way I want it to. The goal of this exercise is to provide me opportunities to show up and continue to ingrain and challenge my ability to play in the center of the pitch with a great articulation. So there is a little bit, this is an example of where me not fully understanding how to navigate this is preventing me from doing that. And so I'm gonna play through a few of these sections and isolate and get a sense of I need to find a solution. So the first one was right here, and I did it well right there, but just for the sake of doing it, we're gonna start the measure before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to be more active on the C sharp. Booty-dum-bum-be-up-bump. I'm going to be more active. I think the next thing I missed was right here. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, we have one more repetition of that. That was definitely better. I sort of learned, too, that there's a lot of examples of things like this. We have it right. Yeah, so there's a few examples of that. So learning that solution there is something that I applied here just on the fly because I recognize that it's the same kind of thing, so it's probably the same solution. Okay. A little bit tired, so that's some of what's going on. But in general, there's a little bit of improvement there, and that's all that matters. And I learned that thing, so hopefully it sticks. All right. 175.80, 177.88. Arvin, page 175, number 80 at 117. Arvin, page 177, number 88. 136. Okay. A little bit of double tonguing, a little bit of Biche 8, and we are good. So we're number 80. Oh, this is going to be too small. Okay. 80 at 117, 3 times. So this is like, why are you playing it so slow? It's to ingrain what I want. Not everything has to be maximal. Just the most difficult thing you've ever played. Sometimes it's okay to, I think, focus on trying to sound good and imprint a particular way of playing that you're interested in. For me, that's playing these long as I can get away with while still having clarity. Okay. So I thought that was pretty good. We're going to do it again, and now that I've sort of got the general vibe I'm looking for, I just need to move through and shape it a little bit. One more. All right. And I think this other one is at 136. Yeah, one time at 136. Number 88. Not quite there, but we're going to listen back anyway, but yeah, it's not quite there, but it's, I think, pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So this is another situation where I just need to keep trying over the course of a month. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like I can or I can't do it. It's I definitely can do it. I just need to keep focusing, and over the course of the month, my goal is basically to play at the end of the month, the fast tempo, play that at the fast tempo, and have no mistakes. Up until then, I'm not real worried about it. I just keep trying to get better. All right, nice and organized. So then we go open recent, Biche 18, close. All right, so that's something. I don't know what that is. Okay, so starting fresh. So this is the end of this day. So I hit complete day, and day 4 is done. And then I'll just pick back up on day 5, doing exactly the same thing. There's a total of 4. So this is week 1. There's a total of 4 weeks of this. So it's just telling me what to do for 4 weeks. I don't have to think about anything. So if we come over to Etudes and we hit this, so we have week 2, day 8. And these are the things that I need to practice for week 2, day 8. So this is often how I'll do this. I'll say day 8, section 1, repetition 1. No, it's not section 1 though, it's section 5. And then I'll say what the metronome marking was. So metronome marking is 69 and 78. 69, and then this is like the most efficient way I've found to do this. So then day 8, section 5, repetition 4 at 78. So day 8, section 6, repetition 1 at 69. Day 8, section 6, repetition 4 at 78. Now we got to get the other 2. So then run section 1. So 75 and 86. 75 and 86. So day 8, section 1, repetition 1 at 75. Day 8, section 1, repetition 4 at 86. Day 8, section 2, repetition 1 at 75. Day 8, section 2, repetition 4 at 86. Okay, now we have all of that. These are all the repetitions we're going to do for it. I've talked about this before, but hang on. So you would just check these off when we're done. It goes up by 3 each time. So we're not done. Let's not check this off. So then we hop into here. And we go down to Biche 8. So section 5 is from here to here. Section 6 is from here to the end. Section 1 is from there to there. And section 2 is from there to there. So some of this we practiced yesterday, so if you were around for that, you will recognize it. So we want to set our metronome for 69. And we're gonna try to keep what we learned yesterday. Taka 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 taka. I'm trying to keep it nice and aggressive. All right. I'm not going to do a mental rehearsal because this section is pretty simple. Sorry. go back and listen to that. And we're listening for if it's nice and taka taka, like I don't know how to sort of separated, but still have some line. And then we're also interested in things like intonation and whatnot. The rhythm's going to be pretty solid because we're doing it with a metronome. So let's hear. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. Like again, if that was at the full speed, I'd at 120. Right now we're at 69. If I could do it like that at 120, I'd be pretty satisfied. Nice little pause here just to try to keep my chops fresh, and then we go again. Okay, we will record this next repetition. Oops. Honestly, I feel like that was pretty good. I think that's, yeah, I'm actually really happy with that. Okay, so record, back to here, back to there. All right, so from here to the end. And what we learned was I got to really support here so that the B flat comes out nice and easy. Okay, there's another thing that's worth saying now. When I practiced this yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever it was, it did not go that well. I was kind of losing some of the notes in the double tonguing, and I feel like part of my reaction was, oh, obviously, like I'm too tired, I should stop doing this or whatever. But the next time I come back to it, it felt fine. And so that's just how it works sometimes. Sometimes it's a little less than optimal, but we're still trying to put in exactly what we know will work. If you don't know what's going to work, well, then we have a different problem. But if you're like, okay, I know what I'm trying to get out of this, I know what I want to be able to do, it's not always, it's like, this is kind of the up and the down thing. Like sometimes it's not going to feel great, but that shouldn't stop us from trying to put in everything we can to make it come out the way we want it to. Didn't support, but that was better. Yeah, so that's a solid run. I got to get the B flats to be more in tune, so I'm thinking that's actually the note before the B flat. The F being sharp is making the B flat sound flat. Okay, I think that was better. I'll record the next repetition and we'll find out. All right, I think I fixed it. So there I was just really trying to think down on the F and really giving a lot of energy into the B flat so it was nice and bright. Let me do it one more time. I think I lost the taka 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 taka. One more time. Lost my focus. All right. That was... I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't my best. So we'll cut all of that. It's not really better. I'll work with it next time. Okay, so 75. Record. This is the beginning. Sorry. I don't want to listen to that. I'm only going to listen to a second to make sure I'm doing the stylistic thing that I want to do, and then we don't need to hear me miss that note. Yeah. All right. Focus. Focus. I'm going to do a mental rehearsal here. Oh, it's up by 4 now. Okay. All right, so we have one more section left after this, and then I'm going to hop off the stream. So if there's any questions anybody has, this is the time to ask them. That's got to be higher. That low A flat. It's a flat note, so beep up. I got to think really high on that. Okay, just a few more repetitions. I think I got one of them. Okay, last repetition. Last call for questions. All right. Some solid work today. Thanks, everyone, for checking in, and we will see you. I'm not going to stream tomorrow, so I'll see you on Monday.